Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Adventure Comics 322, published in July 1964, with art with story by Edmund Hamilton and art by John Forte. Proty II has had a hard struggle in his effort to become a member of the Legion of Super Pets, but the struggle becomes even harder as the tests become tougher. Here is the story of the final terrific tests which face the pet of 1,000 faces. Poor Proty, he showed so much courage, and yet he failed. Crypto had to rescue him from the ooze at the bottom of the sea. Yes, Superhorse, you can see for yourself how he fared when he tried to pass my test. So the Legion of Superheroes is trying to create a weapon that will get through the Time Trapper's Iron Curtain in time. So they have had the Super Pets watch over the clubhouse, and Proty II is trying to become a member, although I don't think any of the other ones had to go through any tests, but they've given him some pretty ridiculous tests. The next test is given by Streaky. He has to work with Saturn Girl, but have her not find out that it is actually Proty. I'll make myself a double of my Master Chameleon Boy for this test. Remember, if Saturn Girl detects you're impersonating Chameleon Boy, you fail the test. So he and Saturn Girl head out, and Saturn Girl has a feeling that they're being watched, and I'm not sure how, but somehow the eye just appears. Look, it's a remote-controlled electronic eye, an invisibility warp. It radiates, kept it from being seen, but it's spying on all our preparations. We have to knock it out. Maybe it'll help fool the eye operator if I use my disguise power to impersonate my pet, harmless, weak Proty. I'll even think like Proty. Okay. So Proty turns into his own appearance. To trick her, the eye hits her with a beam, knocking her unconscious, and so Proty lands on the back of the eye and then changes into a black jellyfish to cover over the vision. It flies around and smashes itself into the ground. That was close. Another second and I'd have smashed up with it. I'll imitate Chameleon Boy again and revive Saturn Girl. You say the eye crashed, Chameleon Boy, then the Time Trapper can't spy on us anymore with it. You're still groggy, Saturn Girl. Let me help you back down to the clubhouse. So he succeeds in that particular task. But next, it's Super Monkey's turn. The Legionnaires will return soon with the Time Thrust machine. They've been testing the Super Pets. The Super Pets will take Saturn Girl with us and leave you here to guard the clubhouse. Your test is you must keep the Legionnaires out of their clubhouse for 1 hour. But me, alone against all the mighty superheroes? How can I? I just feel like it's a bad idea. The Legion, they're trying to stop the Time Trapper, and the Super Pets are all messing around. So he first considers maybe he would become a Z-Bomb, but Superboy and Mon-El would see through that. Then maybe a Tri-Hydra, but Lightning Lad would just shock it. But maybe I could scare them enough to keep them out by making it seem the scientific traps have been set in the clubhouse. I'll try it. So he becomes this multi-armed creature and just throws together this giant hunk of stuff. It's finished, but it's unscientific. I'm sure they'll see it in a moment. It's a fake. I can never bluff the Legionnaires with this contraption. I must try something else. But they're back, and so he just plays dead. Superboy, listen, our burglar alarms are sounding. An intruder is in the clubhouse. And I've always found it hilarious. The clubhouse is so tiny. I don't know if it's like supposed to be a Tartarus inside, but it's clearly not as big outside as it is inside. So they see this machine that Proty created. Superboy, a super scientific booby trap, seems to have killed Proty. His motionless body lies in front of it. Get back, everyone. Mon-El and I are invulnerable, but that machine could destroy the clubhouse if we barge in. Ultra Boy, perhaps that Penetravision can spot a weakness in this booby trap. So Mon-El looks inside and draws a schematic for Brainiac. The alien science which put that machine together is too deep for me to understand. It just doesn't follow any of our laws of science. Let me study this further. So he manages to hold on for an hour, and so manages to win or complete this task also. No wonder we thought this machine was something alien. It's just a lot of equipment thrown together by little Proty. The joke is on us. Yeah. So the next one is cryptos. See if you can pass mine. I'm going to leave here as though I were a fleeing criminal, and it's up to you to track me down, no matter where I hide on Earth, unless you do so in 2 hours. So Crypto heads out, and Proty doesn't have a lot of confidence, but he can use his telepathic sense to tell him where Crypto went, which is another power. In fact, it's a power that Chameleon Boy doesn't have. It leads him to this waterfall, but Crypto spots him and doesn't think he can get there, but Proty turns into a huge fish and is able to swim upstream. So Crypto simply flies off again, or I guess dives under the sea and decides to hide in this lead case. But yipe, green kryptonite. It must have been put into this chest for safety and dropped into the sea by a friend of Superboy, who I rashly opened it. It's paralyzing me, can't move. Proty spots Crypto just laying there on this pile of kryptonite, but there's a shark. Luckily, Proty with his power is able to mimic this huge fish and scare off the shark, even though the shark technically could have been able to eat him. This is hard work. Don't know if I can make it, and Crypto hasn't recovered fully yet, though he soon will. You can see for yourself how the fourth test came out. So Proty failed it. Somehow I'm sorry he showed so much persistent courage in the other tests. But look, it's not really Crypto, it's Proty. And he's changed back to himself. The real Crypto is recovering now from kryptonite paralysis. I disguised him by covering him with sea ooze to give you a surprise. Proty II, you passed every test, and we're proud to welcome you into the Legion of Super Pets. Wonderful, but those changes are a bit dizzying. Do you mind if I impersonate myself for a while now? And so Superboy carves Proty's name into this plaque, which looks like it's out of room now. So I guess that will be the final member of the Legion of Super Pets. And boy, they came off like a bunch of jerks and bullies throughout. But that is now the addition of Proty II to the Legion of Super Pets.